There's nothing wrong with your sound. I just got tired of that noise. Okay, we're going to start thinking about painting this model. And that preparation work involves research to some extent. And the internet is such a marvelous way to find information. I'm going to use a superscale decal sheet that it looked a little fishy to me, so I started looking for photos of the actual aircraft, and by golly, I found one. Here is a wonderful photo of aircraft 421 right there at Elmendorf Air Force Base, Alaska, back around 1959. And the markings shown are very different, or somewhat different, from the ones in the superscale 72-640 sheet. Especially on the rocket pods here. But there are a number of discrepancies, so we're going to be using this photo to help us figure it out. It's always fun because you just cannot believe anything that you're told in the plastic model airplane kit hobby. Everybody seems to be pathologically unable to tell the truth or get things right. I don't know why. Okay, the next step in the process is to check out our paint collection and make sure we have some paint that's going to work. I love these Tamiya glossy acrylics. They're very tricky to work with, I admit that, but they really work well. Of course, we can't have that jazzy red trim unless we have an airplane that's painted with some kind of natural metal finish. Now, my friends at Vallejo created Metal Color a few years ago, and it was perfect for brushing, which meant that it had to be reformulated twice to make it okay to spray out of an airbrush. And there were two versions of this that I purchased over a period of time. And I began to realize that there was something funny going on with this paint over time. Part of it was that the Metal Color aluminum there was too dull and the chrome was too shiny for my purposes. I think Vallejo really just hoped that you just buy all of the colors they had. There were about 20 of them. What I'm thinking right now, though, is I could mix these two. Mix them together. That'll work. Shiny, not so shiny. I'll come up with something in between, and it'll work. So all I need to do at this point is just open up these jars. I'll put the usual link to these jars. You may find the jars to be just as enjoyable as I do. Some people don't like them, but I don't know. Those people don't live in my community, I hope. We're just going to pour one of these into the other and stir it up. That's the plan. I do a lot of stirring with a brush, and I think I'd better just shut up about not stirring with a brush. Who made that rule? Go ahead and stir with your brush. Works for me. I wouldn't go crazy, about trying to get every single drop of every single everything, but I'm trying to be reasonable about it. Mix these two. Give it a chance. Give it a chance to work. The tricky part about brushing the Vallejo Metal Color is that Vallejo is determined because of something. I don't know if it's like, some weird thing that went on, some kind of Bohemia Grove thing or what, but they're dedicated to the airbrush fanatically. We're gonna undermine that. Now, this is pretty brushable. You can see there. It brushes on pretty good. But as time goes by, we're going to actually, it's going to get even more brushable. Fortunately, converting their not brushable airbrush stuff into brushable Metal Color is not as hard as all that. It mostly just involves removing a lot of the solvent and binder that's in there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There's a James Bond movie. Yeah, sequel to Goldfinger. You put this on there. Put this on there. I'm going to let it dry. Then I'm going to probably get a Sharpie and just write Vallejo Metal Color 50/50. I'll know what it means. I'm not quite as old as I look in these videos. Again, that rumor about my being a 5,000-year-old mummy is a lie. Mostly. All right, here is a Vallejo Metal Color version 3, third generation. At least as far as I know, it's third generation. Vallejo is very secretive about this, of course. That's why I love them so much. It's got a new label, so you can tell something's new. And what they did was basically boost up the solvent to make it hotter so that it reactivates the paint. Oh, wait a minute. The first thing you have to do with any new product in a plastic bottle is shake it, right? Yeah, shake it. It says right on the bottle. Shake well. And that's whoa. What's going on here? See, if you paint with a brush and you use shaking technology, you're going to have this kind of foam going on. And that foaminess is going to show up in your finish. Now, if you sprayed, or if you were painting a mini that was 1/4 of an inch tall, that wouldn't matter that much, because you're going to put it on a palette and on and on. And if you're spraying it out of an airbrush, it doesn't really matter, because airbrushes tend to foam everything up anyway. But brushing, when you brush it on and it's all foamed up like this, you're going to get little bubbles, which will not pop until the paint is almost dry, and so that they want to remain there. Little tiny bubbles have this obsession about immortality. I don't know if you knew this. But when they get in your paint finish, they will pop only when they know that their memory will live on. And you'll have little bubbles showing up in your paint finish, I'm telling you. So the idea of shaking the paint the way that we do is extremely bad. The only reason I'm getting away with this right now is that I don't intend to use this stuff right away. I'll let the bubbles all go away. They will go away eventually, thank God. I'm going to pour it in a glass jar because, hey, that's what I do. Okay, glass jar is essential. Now, there's still some sludge in the bottom of this. I'm calling it sludge, but really, this is the gold. This is the gold at the bottom of the pan. And I know it's not gold, it's silver. Oh man, this is getting complicated. There's those bubbles. They will go away eventually. Just like that can of warm Coke you left out on the sawhorse. Okay. This is that 50/50 mixture we put together. And it still has this sort of bluish looking liquid. When you let it sit for a couple of days, it rises to the top. And this is something you find on the streets of San Francisco. We all know what this is. And you got to discard it after use. It says right there. So watch it, kids. Anyway, you suck up about 5 milliliters of this blue liquid. The binder, the solvent mixture, it's the evil stuff that makes it easy to blow through an airbrush, but terrible to brush. And you're going to remove as much of that as you can get away with without removing the pigment. The sludge at the bottom, the pay dirt, we want to keep that. We want to get rid of this blue haze, though. So I'm pulling out about 4 milliliters there. That's about as much as I think I can get away with. Now, if you tend to have trouble with this kind of thing, then practice makes perfect. All right, once we've removed a lot of that stuff, you can stir it with your brush again, get it all nicely stirred up. And I'm going to take one of these black spoons. The black spoons are the universal symbol of painting. Yeah. We're going to paint a black spoon with this Vallejo Metal Color and see what happens. It brushes beautifully as long as it's not super thin. As long as it hasn't been super thinned down to make it airbrushable. So part of my job, part of my destiny on this planet is to come in, remove blue liquid, and stir up metal paints. That's my destiny. Well, it looks like we've arrived at the end of our mission here. I hope you hit like and subscribe, and please, will somebody help that poor crew chief there? Obviously the radar's not working on 421, and he's waiting for the truck to show up with a specialist. I don't know. It doesn't look like this mission is getting off to a good start. But I do hope you will just hang around. Click one of these links. We'll see you next time.